Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Bournemouth versus Everton. A tricky trip to the Vitality Stadium for the Toffees. There you go. I was just trying to get those words right.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to get it all right. You know, after heavy Christmas and New Year. You know me.
Yeah. What, running?
I do. Occasionally have a
running. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tricky one, isn't it? The obviously December obviously looked really tricky on paper.
It was.
But we weren't looking at the following games, which are Bournemouth away, Villa and Spurs at home, which are equally tricky for us because they're sort of like we should be trying to win those games. But at the same time, you look at the Forest game in a game that should be trying to win that game. Look what happened. So, what do we do? What do we do in this game? Do we go full? Let's just do what we did at the Emirates, or should we go there with a little bit of ambition and maybe end up like Southampton?
What, in the bottom of the league? I think what I'd do is probably totally different to what the manager will do, and it's his job to. He gets paid to do it, so he'll do what he thinks, which I imagine will be play very similar to how we did at the Emirates. There's a fundamental issue with the way we play, and that is there's no pace on the counter-attack. So we try to play counter-attacking football with no counter-attacking pace. So that's why it'll be difficult. But I can't imagine we'll go there and open up. I think we'll go there and make sure we pack men behind the ball. They are quick. They're quick in transition. They score goals. And we'll have to just stay in the game, I imagine, and hope to nick something. But if not, don't get beat. I think that'll be the message from the manager, because we want to try and get something, especially after losing the last game.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see him going down there and just getting men behind the ball, because we know Bournemouth for a good side. You have to go back to Brighton. What's that now? That's 8 games ago, is it? Since they were last beaten. Beating the likes of Wolves, Spurs, Ipswich, Manchester United, and 3 draws in that time. Obviously been on a really, really good run. Drawn the last couple. But we know that they've become such a good side, and when we played them at Goodison Park for 80 plus minutes, we dealt with them quite comfortably, and then 10 minutes, few subs, tiring legs, and they took us apart 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, it wasn't just the 3 goals they scored. They could have scored 5 times. And
they had one disallowed, didn't they?
They could. In that last 10 minutes, they absolutely destroyed us. So we know they're a really effective side. We know the style of play that they now, have is something we'd love to see at Everton, and the players they've brought in. And when you look at the squad, it's got depth to it as well. And for a team that's only been back in the Premier League, the second season, is it? Third season, sorry. Yeah. It just shows you what can happen if you get everything right and get all your ducks in a row. And obviously they did that by bringing a new manager in, and making they headhunted him, thought he was the right man, and things are going really well for them.
They've got pace, haven't they? Obviously, Semenyo's on our thumbnail there, and they got him from Bristol City, I think, and he's powerful and pacey. They've got Clivert, really good signing for them. Dango Uatara he brought in, ironically Everton wanted. He's, at times he's been important for them. They've got Evan Nielsen up front who replaced Solanke, and he's found his feet now. So they've Kirkos, who were really like the left back, who've been linked with Liverpool. Got good players, good attack, play football the right way. Can mix it up, can go direct or play, through the thirds, as they say. So they've got a really nice mix of it, and they've got an attacking sort of outlook on teams, and they've beaten, go to United and win 3-0 2 years on the run. Shows you how good the manager Areola is, or how good the job he's done since he went in there and knew what they wanted. Have built to the plan. Have tried to just keep it going and good coaching and all that, and they've got to just reward them in the top 7 and doing brilliantly.
They are. I mean, you mentioned that they are we talk about blueprints for teams, and obviously like the likes of Brighton and Brentford, the seen as blueprints for. But in terms of like going about your business, knowing what you want, Bournemouth are also brilliant. Example of that, you know, the Gary O'Neill was doing all right for them. They dropped them, brought in, you know, this guy. Okay, rough start, but they stuck with the plan, and as you said, they've bought players for them. They sold Solanke in the summer and replaced him with Evan Nielsen, and he's starting to find his feet as well. And the way they've gone about things, again, it's such a good example of like they've done everything right where we've done everything wrong.
I think if you've got a strong plan and you stick to it and bite to it, I mean, they've done that well. Liverpool have took their director of football, of course. He's gone to there, and I think they just had a plan. They followed it. They identified what they needed. They've gone with it. They haven't looked to try to collect players. They bought to the plan, and it's something Everton haven't done and didn't do in the Macheri era either. They didn't buy to a plan. They just spent money on collecting players to start with, thinking that was a shortcut when it wasn't. And then since obviously the tap got turned off to the Usmanov funds or whatever, however you want to look at it, Everton have just been buying stick and plasters, and they have got some good, you know, some decent players in with the recruitment, but they've also bought stick and plasters. There's nothing has been built to have any sort of durability with it. And also within that, Everton, the biggest thing is Everton haven't been able to identify any pace, and yet we're playing a side who've identified bags of pace. So it is out there. Yeah, it's out there without spending hundreds of millions of pounds. And Everton could do worse than to look at Bournemouth and go, well, how have they done it? You know, because we'd love to be seventh, wouldn't we, with all of that kind of attacking intent and seeing what we could do. So, but back to this one, we have got to somehow nullify that attacking creativity that they have. Do have flying fullbacks, particularly Kirkos on one side, down the left, and we're gonna have to do really well to stay in there, because even when we've been in good form and we've had better teams than we got now, we found it difficult down at Bournemouth. So I think we've only won the FA Cup game down there, haven't we? I think it's the only win in 10 years or whatever. So it's not.
I think, you know, it's not just the. You look at the back four. I mean, the back four, I think it's like there's a 19-year-old, 22-year-old, 21-year-old, 21-year-old. The back four's full. You know, they've got an experienced goalkeeper, but the back four's just all young players. Huijsen, is it, that he brought in from Juventus, and 19-year-olds in the side, like paid 12 million quid for them. So much belief in what they do. I mean, the idea of having a back four like that, those ages would. I know we've got Brandt with him, but it just seems like so far away from what we're doing, and the idea of that young players can't do it, and it has to be about experience. This is believing in something, and going with it, and having full confidence. And it's something, again, you know, I know sometimes people go, when we do these match previews, think we talk about a lot about the opposition sides, but I think we do, because we can learn so much from these clubs, because it's the fear with Everton a lot of the time. It's the fear in the way we play, but it's also the fear in how we're run, and how it has to all be about experience and the safety of players who've played in the Premier League. These are like, their back four is four young lads who, you know, they're not. It's you put good experience around them, but it's mind-boggling what can be done if you've just got a good plan, like you said, and you believe in it and you go forward. And of course, that can be, you know, you mentioned before, Semenyo, about him coming from, you know, a championship team. And let's just have a look at his stats for the season so far. Played 18, 5 goals, XG of 5.32. 9-2, sorry, 2 assists, and dribble success 59%. And you can see there from his heat map as well how you know, he's down everywhere. The right, but
he's everywhere.
Yeah, down the right, but also down the left, and just about everywhere. He looks like a bit of a rash there. But again, he's proof of you can. It's not about just buying from outside. It's about going down the league and finding someone and giving them an opportunity. And again, that's something we've not been brilliant at either. Seeing the talents and going, they look like they can add something. Instead, it's something we used to do and something we've got away from. You know, we used to do it really successfully, and again, it's something we've gone away from. And a club like this has got that really good mix of going down the leagues, going and finding the best talent abroad that is available at the right price, not panicking, letting them settle, but giving them games of football.
But the thing is, Everton have got, you know, you look at Everton's back four, there's Michalenko, who's 24, whatever. Patterson could be playing, he'd be 23. Brandtwaite's whatever he is, 22, 23. Yeah. You know, and there'd be no problem having Tarkowski in there. Who's got the experience, got the open Pickford. Everton could have a similar kind of thing. Yeah. Of course, we can discuss whether or not we could get a better, more attacking left back than Micho. Is Patterson good enough? Well, he's been here 3 years and no one really knows the answer to that, but he looks like he'd probably play under a different manager, say, maybe. He'd use them. These lads are doing really well at that age because the manager's got them and believes in them and isn't wedded to it's got to be Premier League experience and stuff, because half of their team probably didn't have any Premier League experience. So there is just a way of playing. For Everton, everything's been overcautious for too long. And don't just level at it. Sean Dyche, Rafa Benitez was trying that, Lampard trying it to a certain extent. You've got to break out of that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of it's been while the stadium's been getting built as well, but Everton to move forward, they're going to have to break out of that. And, you know, when on these previews, the whole point of the preview is to look at the opposition, by the way. Because we do all the other stuff about Everton every day of the week and all that. We overanalyse Everton, I think, at times, and you do have to look at how well the opposition is and what they do well, because that's what it's about. And Bournemouth do break and score goals, and we're going to have to be very, very wary of them the weekend.
Well, let's have a look at the team. Bournemouth team that got a draw at Fulham. As you can see there, that very youthful back four. But ahead of them, you've got the likes of Lewis Cook, Christie, Billing, who have obviously, and David Brooks, which it's always great to see David Brooks playing football. They are an experienced quartet in the Premier League. And Evilson, as we said before, who has come into the Premier League, took a little bit of time to find his feet. Obviously not as dominant as Solanke, but is finding his feet. Clive's back as well this weekend, who's done well this season. He's obviously got a hat-trick of penalties down at Wolves recently, but he's got goals and got assists. It's a good balanced team. It's a good balanced squad, and they're doing brilliantly. And as I said, it's going to be tough because it's one of them where you look at it and go, what do we do? Do we stick or do we twist? Do we look at it as we have to just sit in, maybe try and play in the counter attack ourselves? I don't think Bournemouth have overly too much possession in games of football either, so it will be interesting. I think the way we played against Forest didn't really suit us, even though we were playing at home. We would have liked maybe them to have had a lot more of the ball, so we could have soaked the pressure up, and rather than being drawn out. I think it'll be this weekend. We will try and sit in, soak up that pressure. Don't let them have a counter attack in the first place, and then see what we can do. And
I think
it'll be interesting.
West Ham went there recently and drew 1-1, didn't he? And I think Bournemouth equalised late on.
The free kick,
yeah, late on, which was Enes Ünal, wasn't it, with the free kick late on. So I think we'll probably do similar. West Ham did sit in, but hit them on the counter attack. We haven't really got the pace for the counter attack, but we do sit in. And Palace have got a 0-0, I think, there as well, and they sat in a little bit as well. So I think the blueprint's there from those two teams to go in and try and frustrate. It'll be something Bournemouth have got to get used to if they are going to enjoy being higher up the league. You've got to be able to break teams down. I think for Everton's perspective, that'll be the way we'll play. I don't think Sean Dyche is going to go too far away from what his MO is, and it's grind out a 0-0, and then if you get the opportunity, have you got a little bit of quality when it comes to that opportunity? You know, from a more defensive perspective, can we, I don't know, maybe a set piece or whatever, but obviously not having Dwight McNeil available at the weekend will make make that a bit. We won't be as good on set plays because we just haven't been when McNeil's not been there, which is a bit worrying that we've got one person in the football club who can deliver a decent set piece. So, but that's what we'll hope for, or is there a moment that we can draw them out?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think, just very quickly? Do you think he'll go with Brien, or do you think he'll be called Dominic Calvert-Lewin for this one?
No, I think he'll stick with Brien.
Do you?
But I'd be tempted to play Brien left. I've said this the last game, play him on the left and have a proper 4-3-3, but I don't think he'd be adventurous.
Not away from home. I don't think he'd do that this year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because obviously Brien played the last game at home. Dormy probably won't, because it's an away game and you can hold the ball up better, but I don't know. I don't know. I said it. I've been saying it all season. It doesn't really matter who plays up front, but in the away games, you want it to stick. And Brozier as well. My only worry with Brozier is he does like dropping in deep. That's what we've seen him so far. And I think you need, certainly in the first hour of a game, I think you need to hold that. It's where Beto suffers as well. You need to hold that shape and keep their back line as deep as possible. And the minute you start dropping off, that back four is going to follow you up and is going to be quite happy with that. And I don't think Sean Dyche will want that. I think that's all right for later on in the game, but I just think while you're trying to squeeze up the pitch a little bit and go and tell people you can push them long, go and, number one, if you're dropping deeper, where's the out ball going to be? You're picking it up, and then if you lose that ball, they've got all their plays in your half. So I could see him going for Dom again. But you mentioned there, I think they've won at Man United, at Ipswich, 4 goals at Wolves. They have 2 goals at Fulham. It has been the away games where they can play in their counter-attack. So there's no reason why we can't get something out of this game. Absolutely no reason, because I think they have struggled. There is a blueprint.
Yeah.
Palace went there on Boxing Day, got a 0-0. If you don't allow that space in behind and you defend properly, which we know we are capable of, then there's definitely something in this game for us. And listen, maybe they've been practicing set pieces all week without Dwight McNeil. Maybe they've decided who will take them.
We should have got a draw there last season. Beto equalised late on, albeit from a mistake by Neto, but Beto equalised late on, and then we then went through the game, didn't we?
It's disgusting.
It's an own goal, wasn't it? It's Seamus, but we should have dealt with it first. So we are capable of, we will, be capable of going and getting something out of it. We're going to have to play well to get something out of it.
Let's just have a look at Everton's team that obviously was beaten against Forest. Are you expecting any change, because obviously Patterson, did all right when he came on again, but didn't start against Manchester City when maybe there was an opportunity to. Again, me just throwing an idea out. Patterson right back, Ashley Young left back, because Michalenko
didn't have a great game.
Wasn't great. That wasn't great, and hasn't been great this season. Let's be honest. In the whole, he did against Saka. Yes, had a good game against them, and against Chelsea, thought he had a good game as well defensively. But he's not the answer to that position for in long term, certainly. So there is that. You could make that change. I would have made that change against Forest. But there's not much else, is there? They've still not got Garner back here. Boonham's still not available. No. Seamus Coleman's not available. So there's it's again. We've got four centre forwards.
I think it'll be interesting to see what he does with the striker. Obviously, Dom's partner threw a little bit of a
shade,
out, didn't she, after the last game? So it'll be interesting to see whether they go back to Calvert-Lewin. I don't think Patterson will start, personally. I think it'll be the same as normal. I think Patterson may well start against Peterborough in the FA Cup. And O'Brien probably starting that one as well. This one, I imagine, it'll be the only positional change. I think may well be the centre forward. I think he might put Dom in for this one for all of the reasons you've just said, away from home. Don't think there's any chance Beto starts or Chimity, so It's Dom or Brien. I think he'll probably go with Calvert-Lewin, but other than that, I don't imagine any other changes.
Yeah. We'll see. See what that big game for the manager. Again, don't want to go back-to-back defeats with new owners just coming in and everything.
We need to win. We've won 3 games. It's half a season on Saturday. We've got to 3 wins in half a season. It'd be a terrifying thought. So we've got to somehow grind out the results and win. It'd be brilliant, but I don't know. We're not winning enough games, which is why
we're not
3 points ahead of relegation.
It's great to say you've only lost so many in so many games, but winning's the name of the game, isn't it? It's simple as that. There's teams like Bournemouth that have only lost maybe a couple less than us, or there's teams around us who've lost the same amount, but they're winning games. And the difference those points make to the position, obviously, in the table, and how that makes us all feel, and then that freedom that follows. Last year, the manager, talked a lot about those 10 points and mentally what those 10 points meant to the team. Well, this season, we're without those 10 points through what's gone on the field. And mentally, it's the same thing. Mentally, you look at the table and you go, wow, we're only 2 points above the relegation zone. So there's no freedom to play. Like he said when we lost the 10 points, there's no freedom to play. You can't make mistakes because... So then you go into games like this and it's not whether you can win the game, it's how can we get something out of the game. And even you get something out of the game, you don't go anywhere. And it's that thing of like, well, we have to start making draws.
Couple of wins.
Back-to-back wins. God, Jesus Christ. If Everton can get 2 wins out of the next 3 games, you could draw all 3 and be like, oh, we've done it again. But if you could win 2 of those games just by turning that round, by being a little bit more on the front foot, difference that would make to the league table and how we all feel would be huge. And how everyone would feel. It's no point just going, we've got the keys to the stadium and we've got new owners. That's really nice things for the future. But we're talking about right now, talking about the future of in the short term. And we really could all do with a big boost, I think. I really do. I think it's not enough. Those things are not enough. It's about what happens right now in football.
Football team. Yeah. Great having good owners, it's great having a shiny new stadium, but ultimately we're a football team and we want to see the team win, score goals, don't we? That's what we want.
Absolutely. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Are you optimistic? I think we can go down there and buck the trend. We'll wait and see. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. You want more great videos. Join us over on Toffee TV Premier. Link is in the description. QR codes come on the screen now. See you later.